We've got a bunch of signings that I wanted to dive into in today's video. There are a number of interesting prospects and very intriguing storylines between the Red Wings, the Oilers, and even the Philadelphia Flyers. So we've got three guys, three teams. Let's spend some time on each of them. Let's talk about Noah Cates in the Philadelphia Flyers organization, who has been signed to a 4-year deal worth $4 million AAV. Now, Noah Cates is a guy that I absolutely adored this season throughout the course of the year because I had him on my fantasy team up and down a whole bunch. He was really hot at certain parts of the year. 26-year-old guy signed on till the end of 2029, making $4 million a year. He's getting a payday after a 37-point campaign in 78 games. He formerly was a Flyers prospect taken in the 5th round of the 2017 draft, who had spent a whole bunch of time developing in the NCAA before becoming a full-time Flyer in 2022. From there, he has just started to put his game together and be a lot more versatile as a 30 to 40 point caliber guy who maybe has a little bit more in the tank to improve on those numbers. Noah Cates is still relatively new in the National Hockey League, but as a guy who is 26 years old, he is finally getting his raise, and I think it comes at a really good time here. Cates is a guy that's going to really excel under a Rick Tocchet system as a middle six caliber center who's really good defensively too. This guy's the real deal, everybody, and I'm super happy to see Cates get the contract that he had gotten. Long term, of course, he's probably not going to be a number one center or somebody in that territory who's got all the potential and getting 100 points. Nah, he's not going to be that. But as a middle six core option, that's a really solid name to be bringing in and year out. And at $4 million apiece in a rising cap world, I think it's pretty reasonable here, and I think the Flyers are going to really enjoy what they get out of Noah Cates the next few seasons. Now, I wanted to talk also about the Edmonton Oilers because they made a really interesting signing earlier this morning that a lot of us fans didn't even really know was possible at this point. The reason I say that is because the Oilers signed Roby Jarventie today, according to Puckpedia. And you might be thinking, okay, that's fine. The Oilers signed a guy that they had in their system. They ended up acquiring Jarventie in a trade with the Ottawa Senators a few years ago. Why is it a big deal that they signed this guy? Well, it's because Roby Jarventie earlier this year actually signed a contract in Finland. And that was seen as kind of the last straw for Jarventie as a potential North American player. This was back in May. Tappara announced that they had signed Roby Jarventie to a deal here, and a lot of folks were like, okay, that's it. He's not going to translate in North America. He's going to go back home. That's fine. He was a former second-round pick that had a lot of potential with the Ottawa Senators and inevitably the Edmonton Oilers. He was injured for most of the previous year, so unfortunate, right? Well, seems like the Oilers still believe in this guy, and it seems like Jarventie still believes in the Oilers because they have apparently inked a deal here that is 1 year long for a guy that only played 2 games in the regular season this previously completed year. He had 2 points. Nice to see him be a point-per-game guy for the Bakersfield Condors, but only 2 games played in total. Roby Jarventie used to be a guy that had a lot of skill and offensive pizzazz. It's why he was taken so high in the 2020 draft. Of course, though, it was the 2020 draft. It was the weird year that everybody was kind of waiting for because it was shut down due to COVID, but he was taken second-round guy, very exhibited offense in the Finnish leagues, and inevitably took his talents over to the AHL. He was pretty good, man. There's a lot of potential here for Roby Jarventie, and I think longer term, if he's able to stay healthy and he's able to continue progressing upwards, because he is only 22 years old, there's a lot of time here for Jarventie to still capture what made him such an intriguing prospect back in the day. And the Oilers want to take advantage of that. Who knows if he actually will play in Bakersfield this upcoming year. He had a contract with Tappara, so maybe there's going to be some sort of a loan situation. Although I will say, he was already good in the AHL. He was already a point-per-game AHL caliber guy. I don't think there needs to be a regression down to a lower level of play. Not to disrespect, of course, the Finnish Hockey Liga. It's definitely still good. It's just, he went from the AHL, multiple years there developing and doing well, to going to Finland. It's not really the best progression. You would hope that he sticks around in the American Hockey League, or if he's good enough, maybe even challenges for an Edmonton Oilers roster spot. Although, because he did miss an entire year's worth of hockey due to injury, it is kind of muddy and difficult to fully project that outcome. So I wonder what's going to happen here with Roby Jarventie. I'm not really too sure with his progression, but ultimately he's sticking around in Edmonton. At least there's a reasonable thought that he does. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're an Oilers fan, how do you feel about Roby Jarventie re-signing with your hockey club? Now finally, to end off this video, I wanted to talk about one more contract that was signed. It was Jesse Kiiskinen, signed by the Detroit Red Wings to a 3-year entry-level contract. And this is a really interesting move because Kiiskinen is a guy that was acquired by the Red Wings not in the draft, but in a trade. He was initially drafted by the Nashville Predators 2 years ago in 2023. And was inevitably sent over to the Detroit Red Wings in the Jake Walman trade. Now, I know what you're thinking, wait a minute, the Jake Walman trade, that was Detroit and San Jose, what does this have to do with it? Yeah, well, let's just go back to June 25th, 2024. The Detroit Red Wings acquired the Tampa Bay Lightning second-round pick in 2024 and forward Jesse Kiiskinen from the Nashville Predators in exchange for Andrew Gibson. The Red Wings subsequently traded that draft pick, the Tampa Bay second, and Jake Walman to the San Jose Sharks for nothing. So it was a buy one, get one free double whammy type of deal for Steve Yzerman last year to acquire Jesse Kiiskinen for Andrew Gibson and then also trade away Jake Walman. It's kind of funny how that all goes down, but Jesse Kiiskinen is the newest Detroit Red Wing to put the pen to paper. He is a 19-year-old forward, right wing, right-handed guy, 6'1", 190, from Finland. And he had himself 44 points in 46 games played last year for the HPK Hämeenlinna. That is crazy work. 19-year-old with insane point-per-game production in the HPK system. That is totally a boss move. He also was a point per game for Team Finland at the World Juniors, and there's a lot of potential here for a guy who is this young and producing this well. I think this is a really underrated signing by Stevie Y, although a lot of folks are going to attach Kiiskinen's name to the Jake Walman trade now, so I kind of wonder if there's some extra added pressure for this prospect. Oh yeah, he has to live up to the guy that the Red Wings gave away for free in Jake Walman. That's going to be a high task to accomplish, but hey, anything's possible. He's already a point-per-game Liga guy at 19 years old, so we'll see whether or not Kiiskinen is able to take that upward potential into higher levels of play. But I like the signing a lot. He was one of the more productive teenagers in the Finnish Liga this season. If you go over to the Liga and you sort by U20 guys, you will note that Jesse Kiiskinen was the top player out of all of the Finnish Liga compared to the other prospects. That's awesome to see, and I think the Red Wings are getting a pretty good player here. If he's able to continue producing like this in the AHL and potentially, inevitably, the NHL, I think there's a lot that we can go out there and look forward to out of Kiiskinen, a former Nashville prospect turned Detroit prospect. So with all that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Between Noah Cates signing with the Philadelphia Flyers, you got Roby Jarventie signing with the Oilers, and Steve Yzerman making a fantastic move. Let me know in the comments all your opinions about these three signings, Cates, Jarventie, and Kiiskinen. I hope you enjoyed this video. Zayne, and bye.